Hey everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Devin Adams. I am a Fortinet instructor here in Tempe, Arizona for Dynamic Worldwide Training Consultants. And the last few videos I've been messing around in my NSE 5 lab, which I encourage the participants who take my class to build themselves. And I screwed up somewhere, right? And now I need to restore a configuration on my FortiManager. So obviously it's a little bit more complex than just dropping a or restoring a config on a FortiGate, and you're going to see that because of like the databases and things like that. But in a lab environment, it's a little bit safer to do because obviously we're not in a production environment. But sometimes, for some reason, there was some kind of like, corruption. We have to reinstall the FortiManager or RMA it or do something there that we need to actually restore the FortiManager. There's a couple of catches here that you have to do or steps, and I just wanted to go ahead and in this video demo what it's like to restore a configuration on the FortiManager. So anyways, let's go ahead and go into our Windows PC here, okay? And I'm already logged into the FortiManager, and I did screw up messing around with the VPN manager here. There was a step that I forgot, so I couldn't go forward with it, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm so glad I got that configuration right saved because I hadn't pushed anything down to the FortiGates yet. So I'm going to go ahead and restore my backup that I did right before I started messing around. So I'm going to go to System Settings, and I'm going to do a restore real quick. See the arrow pointing down, and I'm going to hit Browse here. And because of my laptop, it's so old, it just sits here and hangs here for a couple of moments because, guys, I'm really maxing out this thing in GNS3, so I'm just going to hit pause for a second until that loads up. Yeah, I have no idea why that takes so long to pop up, but here we go. And then I'm going to find the one that I saved before I started messing around, all right, which is this guy right here. I'm going to hit open. It's going to go ahead and upload it. All right. Just a couple of things. If you want to override the current IP settings, routing, and HA settings, there is an option to turn that off. And the whole reason why is because maybe for some reason, we want to keep our interfaces changed, and we're just dropping this configuration and we want to preserve those changed IP addresses and routing. Everything else will apply. Here though, it really doesn't matter because they're identical. All right. And the whole reason why I'm doing this video is offline mode. So I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to go ahead and upload the configuration and reboot the FortiManager. So, and the FortiManager is not like a FortiGate. In other words, it should be okay to reboot this thing once in a good while. Just simply because your FortiGates are not going to be affected by it in the same way. Now, I say that with some caution, and I am kind of just dragging my feet while I wait for this thing to boot. But if you are using your FortiManager as like a local FortiGuard proxy for like web filtering, just make sure that you have using the FortiGuard public networks as a backup set up there so you don't lose connectivity to do your web filtering. Other than that, I mean, central management is not something that has to be looking at all the objects 100% to keep your network functioning. So, but here we go. It's going to go ahead and reboot. And just because of the slowness of everything, I think I'm going to hit pause one more time. Oh, wait, maybe not. Did I psych it out? Maybe. Okay. I'm going to let that go ahead and post. And we should be able to reach it once the interface is initialized. So that's the only problem with GNS3 on equipment that probably should be retired. It could be a little bit slower. So yeah, I'll go ahead and pause and let it do its thing. All right, there we go. So let's go back to our login page. All right, just hit reload here. There we go. Yes, I trust it. Okay. And let's log in. Oh, come on, fat fingers. So you're going to notice that when the FortiManager gets restored and it's back up, it's in offline mode. Now, what does that exactly mean? Well, offline mode means that it keeps the management tunnels down from the FortiGates to the FortiManager. It doesn't go out there and try to connect to them right away. So the whole reason why is because maybe you're making changes for a reason and you reverted back, and maybe you need to make some revisions to the actual FortiGates itself. Like maybe if you did make some changes, you have to roll back those revisions on several FortiGates before you bring the management back up. So, but that's what the offline mode means. And to get out of offline mode, let's say we're confident everything is, you know, done all right in our device manager, and you can actually see this if we go into device manager here. All right. See how all of our tunnels have remained down, all right? And that's by design. And this way we can go ahead and manipulate what we need to manipulate to get back to that point where we were before we did the restoration, before we restored it. And so, and I'm talking about, you know, what we reviewed earlier about these bad boys. You know, maybe we have to take our several ones that we screwed up or something and revert it back. We can do that here. And then when we're ready to bring up the management side of things, we go to our system settings, go all the way down to advanced settings to turn offline mode off, all right, to disable. We hit apply, and now we're managing the FortiGates again. And we can see this by going to our device manager, and you'll see these tunnels slowly start turning up. So in fact, let's just kind of, oh, see, our local FortiGate was first. All right. But slowly and surely, I promise you, the other ones are going to come back up too. So, hit F5 here. And you can actually force a tunnel to come up right away too, guys, if you hit this little circular button here. You can kind of force the tunnel to negotiate and come up right away if you don't want to wait for it. All right, so, and remember, it is a web GUI, so hit F5 on your keyboard to refresh it. There we go. So just need a little bit more patience, but there you guys go. So if you're ever restoring a configuration onto a FortiManager, just remember that it's going to come back in offline mode, and offline mode just simply means that the management tunnels are not going to be built. That way you can go back to the individual devices that you might have made the changes before you're restoring the configuration and tweak them there. So when they come back online, they can be ready for the management side of things. So I hope someone finds that helpful, and hopefully I'll get my VPN tunnels working today. So thanks for watching, guys.